Welcome to the Firebelly Social Show. We're focused on talking to food and beverage brands that are on a mission to make the world better.
Duncan Alney here. I am the co-host of the Firebelly Social Show, where I talk with leading entrepreneurs and CEOs of mission-driven beverage and food brands. And today's episode is brought to you by none other than Firebelly. At Firebelly, we make brands more likable and profitable through social media marketing. We provide organic and paid social strategies along with influencer marketing to help our clients get ROI fast. We were voted one of the top 10 social media agencies in the world by Clutch, and Firebelly's helped clients like Netflix, Qdoba, Fiji Water, and many others transform their social media marketing strategies. If you want to establish your brand, expand your reach, and get ROI, make your company more likable and profitable, let's talk. Go to firebellymarketing.com or contact us or email us hello@firebellymarketing.com or call us at 317-557-4460. So with no further ado, let's talk about today's guest. Hey, this whole story begins in 2012 when the company started as a menswear brand. The name of the company is Stock, and Stock quickly found a niche designing custom uniforms for high-end restaurants and hotels. And 10 years later, Stock has built a national reputation as the go-to resource for thoughtfully designed, expertly manufactured uniforms and promotional products. And these guys have worked with some of the most recognizable names in hospitality, beverage, and cannabis. They offer a full-service approach to design, development, and manufacturing. And they focus on innovative products and tightly managed supply chain. I got that out. And so I'm so happy to welcome you, Jim. Jim Snediker is the founder of this amazing company. Welcome, Jim.
Duncan, thanks for having me.
So Jim, tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you do and in your words, what Stock does.
Yeah, so Stock is, your words are pretty good. We create well-designed retail quality uniforms primarily for front of house customers. We do plenty of back of house, but our reputation is really the customer-facing parts of a hospitality establishment staff. Combine that with dedicated customer service and efficient supply chain. So it's like you're buying your uniforms retail, but we have the continuity and the customer service that comes with a true B2B supplier.
And I got to tell you, I am a lover of fine food and drinks and fine establishments. And I always wondered, how the hell do they have, even their uniforms are on brand. They look great. They fit the vibe. And this is the work that you do. You make the people there look like the brand, or you make them, I guess, shine in their outfits.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, obviously there's, everything's a caveat coming out of the pandemic here, but there has been no real shortage of great places to get food, to get drink, especially over the last 5-10 years. So restaurants, hotels, wherever you're going, are really, you got to have the menu and you got to have the customer service and your staff trained. And there's everything else goes along with it. You're hiring a graphic design firm to do your assets and your menus. You've got someone working on the lighting. You've got some places are even doing people engineering the sound for optimum sound quality for your dining experience. So your staff is the number one extension of your brand, aside from maybe the decor of the restaurant. So if your staff is well trained and they know what they're doing, you want them to also look the part and to get across really the entire ethos of your brand. So you stick someone in just maybe a generic black t-shirt with a cheap looking apron, and it's not necessarily imparting those same values that you've spent so much time and effort on all the other parts of your business.
Yeah, I think it just makes the people look and seem like an afterthought, and
sure,
they're the first and most important step. So I love that approach. And you've built up a hell of a roster of clients. Tell us who some of the clients are.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I always feel like I'm going to forget someone important and they're going to hear this and then ask why I didn't mention them. But some of the big ones, Alinea Restaurant Group was our first and still longest standing customer. So we do Alinea and Next Restaurant. And we've done some stuff for Royster, which is their more casual spot as well. Land and Sea Department is one of our longest standing and closest hospitality groups we work with. You might know them from Longman and Eagle and Parsons Chicken and Fish and Chicago Athletic Association, One-Off Hospitality, Soho House, the Aparium Hotel Group, and the Auberge Resorts, as well as places, Ace Hotel, the Hoxton Hotel, a lot of really cool, trendy spots like that.
And I think that what's a good way to, I guess, to describe their approach? I mean, they're very careful and plan every single aspect of the experience.
Yeah. So I think an important thing to remember, is that a successful place does not then go back and invest in the uniforms or any part of their brand. They're investing that stuff up front so that when you come in day one, everything's as dialed in as possible. Right. So that's, I think, the approach that a lot of our clients take is, let's get everything as dialed in as possible. And then we're going to open to the public and we will revise and revamp from there. People, menus are always a work in progress. The layout of the dining room is always a work in process. As are the uniforms. We've definitely designed and redesigned uniforms for places over the course of years, but it's very rarely a place that opens up and uniforms are not even considered. And then they come back after 2 years of being successful and say, now we have to invest in the uniforms. It's usually they get it from the beginning.
I mean, and these brands, these are very well-known brands. They're all known for a very high level of quality. Why do they love working with your company?
I think it started for one reason, which back in the day it was, and I'm sure as building a business, it was we said yes to everything, right? Like we will for a place with a big name. Yeah, we'll figure out how to make 12 of that dress for you. We'll put together this enormous presentation, hoping that you'll buy something from us. And we just ended up doing really cool stuff. And we definitely had hiccups over the years, but the original reason people started working with us is because we were able to put a really design, trendy, thoughtful approach to uniforms in front of them. As we've grown, my entire philosophy with growing the company has been really just the reduction of friction everywhere I can across the board, right? So everything we used to do was custom from the ground up. We had our little menswear brand where you could go and buy some stuff out of our store on the website, but all the uniform stuff was made to order every time. And we got to a point where we had 30, 40 projects going on at a time, and we're custom sourcing textiles from Japan and custom sourcing other textiles from Canada and buying buttons here and zippers here. And it was just a ton to keep track of. And, our minimums were fairly high. Our lead times were pretty long. There was sampling involved and everything. And we kind of figured out after a couple of years, we need to be able to offer this custom stuff because that's really where we've made our bones. But we need to have options for people that can't order a 50-piece MOQ, people who don't have 6 weeks to wait for samples and another 4 weeks to wait for production. So we built out our in-stock offering, which you can go on our website right now on stockmfgco.com. And everything that's on the website is a running article for us. So you can pop on, order 2 of those, and they'll ship to you, usually the next day, or you can come to us and we'll give you custom B2B pricing. But I think that's really how we managed to keep growing the business and gotten stickier with clients, is just paying attention to their pain points and reducing those pain points on our end.
Well, that's the key in the internet marketing world as well. Using psychological friction.
Yep.
When someone arrives at your website from an ad, for example, does the page reflect what the ad promised? Do you feel comfortable? Are there trust symbols? Is the offer clear? Is there an offer? Are you telling them what to do? So that's great. It's such an amazing concept of reducing psychological friction. It's one that so many people just don't get. They don't get that.
Yeah, it's true. And I think I probably even subconsciously take some of those cues from, because we've really overseen almost the entire web design by ourselves. We do a lot of stuff in-house. So that's always been the part that I play on that side of the business too, is Mike, our designer, really handles the aesthetics, but we've got people that help with more stuff now. It's not just Mike and I doing everything, but as I would wireframe out stuff for the website, and work now with Shopify on what templates right and everything, what theme is right. It's what's the easiest thing from someone lands on your front page, they know exactly what you're selling. How do you then move them into the cart and the checkout process. Obviously things now like with Shop Pay and everything, it's just getting easier and easier and easier to do everything. So that is where we try to be. We try to take the easiest possible scenario we can think of and figure out how to get ourselves there.
That's really great. And these organizations, what kind of person are you working with there? Like, what's the typical client look like?
Yeah, it depends. So we'll work with, we've got a handful of really high-end, like Michelin-starred restaurants that we work with. And that's often the chef/owner, which it is very frequently a chef owner. And they're overseeing everything, the menu, the staff training, where the tables are placed, what the uniforms look like. So, we're working directly with them. At the bigger properties, like for some of the hotel groups we work with, we start up at the top with the creative director or a principal or something like that. And then we get handed down to operations directors or F&B people or general managers. Sort of like once the creative direction is defined, the actual mechanics of ordering and reordering and stuff goes through the operational people on site.
Got it. So it could be a creative director, owner, chef, F&B director, GM, any of the above. So it's a wide variety of people. And what are they typically looking for?
Oh man.
I'm assuming something that's good looking.
Yes. Typical is a tough thing to kind of nail down because everyone's got a different thing. I can tell you, you can look on our website and make some guesses on what the most popular type of items are, right? Like at the end of the day, just like the way people dress themselves, end of the day, you've got a lot of people in blues and grays and whites, chinos, jeans, blazers. It's really, we kind of have all of those options and there's mix and match abilities. But in general, everyone, like we get people all the time, like, I really want to put my staff in this rad jumpsuit. Do you guys have a jumpsuit option? I'm like, yeah, for sure. So we go through all the paces and it's like, oh, actually, I don't think these would be good on these body types. And the fit's not coming, blah, blah. So they end up going with a short sleeve chambray shirt and a pair of stretch black denim, right? Like that happens all the time. And those are really pieces that have been part of building an outfit for decades, right? So we do that. And then we layer on top. Oftentimes we're doing, if someone has cool brand assets, we're doing custom enamel pins or doing baseball caps. If it's that kind of place, we'll do like custom beanies for valets that are outside in the winter. So there's really there's a lot of core types of items that we offer. But what everyone's looking for on a place by place basis is really all over the place.
That's amazing. And so how does social media work for you guys? And specifically, I guess, what role does storytelling play?
Yeah, so that is also something that's evolved for us a lot over the years. I think we really I've been using LinkedIn personally a lot more lately. But for the brand itself, we really only use Instagram. We don't do much with Facebook or Twitter's like a customer support tool, more or less, which no one really reaches out to us on there. Everything's really Instagram. And we use Instagram. I wouldn't say we're tremendously good at storytelling on Instagram. We use it more as almost like, it's almost more like like our Instagram's almost more like a Tumblr or like a living sort of lifestyle catalog of our brand. So like the feed is a lot of like modeled shots, but we rarely have ever posted white background model shots. It's, when we do a photo shoot in a place with a brick background or a brick and timber loft or whatever, like we'll share photos from that photo shoot. We'll share a really cool corner of a restaurant that we go into that the design's really on point, or a client of ours opens up a new place, we'll share photos of that spot. And then the Instagram stories we use as a little more like slice of life into the brand, like behind the scenes of this photo shoot. Hey, just got takeout from this place. It's amazing. It's really just that kind of ethos of the brand. You can pull up our Instagram and really simply see sort of the distillation of our brand and our interests and our aesthetic.
Yeah, I love the way you guys use stories specifically, like the shout out approach to things in general. I think you were saying at one point in our early conversations, great meals, cocktails. It's a how did you phrase it again? Slice of life.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly right.
And so you're using ethos and the strong point of view, and you guys are all over the place. I think you're dining here and dining there, and like your would you say credibility through association is another kind of strategy you guys use?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're presenting yourself as an expert in a space, you need to make it known that you're living that life, and that's, we all, the partners and I, we live in the city and we're out at the place. I mean, obviously a lot more takeout over the last year, but we're starting to get back out into restaurants and going out. And yeah, that's a huge part of us, of the culture we build. We don't just sell to restaurants and bars and hotels. We hang out with them too, like we had to cancel it last summer, but the summer before we put on, there's a really cool old Boy Scout camp in Wisconsin, about an hour and a half from Chicago. And it's owned by a couple creative director, high up people at a husband and wife team at agencies. And they've turned it into this like kind of Wes Anderson-esque vintagey haven in this old Boy Scout camp. And the coolest brands in the world are doing events there and photo shoots there. We actually, a couple summers ago, and it's going to be a running thing, we had to cancel last year, unfortunately, but we got a handful of really well-known chefs and got some music together and rented the place out for 2 weeks, and got some beverage sponsors and some bartenders. And we put on like a 2-day party for hospitality professionals. And really just those are people we hang out with and people we're friends with, like people that we've met through business are people that we get together with and spend time with.
I think that's amazing to do something that's immersive like that, and yet make it a getaway, right? Because otherwise it's an awesome destination for us consumers, but it's their workplace. So for them to be in a different place and be having fun and hanging out with cool people, that's amazing. Great job with that. Any exciting things coming up that you want to talk about?
Oh man, everything's exciting. I never know what I'm allowed to share as far as like upcoming places that are opening. I can tell you that hotels are opening with a vengeance coming up in the next several months. A lot of places that got pushed back. So, hotels often work on a couple year out schedule for construction and financing and everything. And a lot of the places for 2020 that got pushed back are opening for 2021. And a lot of the 2021 places are still opening in 2021. So we're extremely busy with that. Cannabis is, you saw New York just got approved for rec. So we're working with our clients there on making sure that they're good to go as expansion happens. And I know there is a former Top Chef winner who is opening a restaurant in Chicago any day now. And it's all over Instagram and it's being pushed. So I think it's okay that we can shout this out, but it's Rosemary. And it's from Joe Flom, who is a former winner of Top Chef. And he's working with some restaurant developers that we've worked with in the past. So we've already delivered uniforms to them and their staff will be wearing all stock stuff. And I know Joe's got a couple of our aprons. So excited to check that place out. That's going to be a new destination in Chicago for sure.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for joining. I want to just
Thanks for having me.
Congratulate you for your vision and creating this multi-layered, immersive brand where you're adding so much to your clients. How can people that are listening find you?
Well, first of all, I got a coupon code for your listeners. Do you think they'd be interested?
Sure.
Am I allowed to solicit on this podcast?
Of course. All right. Why not? Definitely.
Firebelly 20, all caps. Firebelly 20 will get you 20% off your first order on our site. Of course, if you've got a big order, I can probably do better. So feel free to reach out to me directly. But our website's stockmfgco.com, and all our social handles are just at stockmfgco.
It's official. You heard it. Firebelly 20. I love that you call it Firebelly 20. Firebelly 20, and contact Jim Snediker. He's going to be your man. He's going to hook you up. So, Jim, thank you again so much. And with that, I'm so glad you could join us. At Firebelly, we make brands more likable and profitable through social media. We provide organic and paid social strategies along with influencer marketing to help our clients get ROI faster. Firebelly's helped clients like Netflix, Qdoba, Fiji Water, and many others transform their social media marketing. We were named one of the top social media marketing agencies in the world by Clutch. And if you'd like to get a hold of us, go to firebellymarketing.com or contact us or email us at hello@firebellymarketing.com and 317-557-4460. This is Duncan. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Firebelly Social Show. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.